you can make an argument for both. It's definitely Giannis through the first 3.5 quarters of games, and you could argue it'll definitely be Chris Paul at the end of close games, because that is where he has excelled throughout his entire career, and that is where, even to this day, as Giannis is on the precipice of his first championship, pardon me, where the Bucks tend to go away from him and go more to Middleton. But I think overall, the answer is Giannis, because the Suns in the regular season had no answer for Giannis. And even last night, you saw Giannis in his first game in over a week dealing with, and I can't believe he was out there. The more I think about it, it looked like Giannis, and he said it after the game, I thought I was done for a year. The fact that he was out there doing that, having the chase down block in transition that he had, damn near a 20-20 game, it's like bionic man type of stuff. But the reason I'm going to say Giannis is going to be more crucial, Brandon, is because we have seen the Suns throughout the year. They can win games when Chris Paul scores in single digits because Booker can explode and because of the player Ayton's turning into. And I think their overall supporting cast, guys 4 through 9, are better. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, those guys are better than the Bucks supporting cast. The way for the Bucks to win the series is for Giannis to be 30 and 15 consistently throughout the series. So I think the answer is clearly Giannis, even if at the end of close games, it's going to lean towards Chris Paul.
Right. And I want to go back to your Giannis point as far as surprised that he was out there. Yesterday, talking about this, I think I was coming from a 37-year-old mindset and looking at how I feel today. But when I was 25 and I was 26, you know, I would have the freakish type accidents on the field or injuries, and I would bounce back like that. You even saw LeBron James do that year after year after year. You see so many players have these type of plays and these injuries, and they're back up a play later or maybe the next game. So, yeah, Giannis, the bionic man, unbelievable. And not only to be out there, Nick, but 17 boards. I mean, that says a lot. And he was super aggressive, getting to the paint and doing other things. But the answer is CP3. And the reasons why it's CP3, and I can go through his stats first, but, you know, but before I go through his stats, it's more so his impact on everyone else. You heard Devin Booker after the game talk about this dude doesn't even have to be on the court to impact the game. Think about what he's done for Ayton, and we talked about that. Think about what he's done for Booker. He reminds me of Peyton, man. I love doing, you know, basketball and football comparisons. If I had to compare him to a player in the NFL or all-time great, it would have to be Peyton Manning. I remember once I called Elvis Dumervil up when he was still with the Denver Broncos. I said, buddy, tell me about Peyton Manning. Like, everybody keeps saying, like, his work ethic and his approach to practice is next level. And he said, Brandon, this dude runs the whole show. We went out to practice one day. He had the script. Coach tried to go through the practice. He took the script out of coach's hand, ripped it up, said, let's start practice again. That is CP3. CP3 makes everyone better. And sometimes it can be a bit uncomfortable. But with the right situation, and Nick, you said it's this generation that's really taken to his leadership. And within this situation, now people are really appreciating his leadership style. But when you got other guys with egos and trying to compete with you in the locker room, it makes it hard. These guys know Chris Paul is just different. Chris Paul is married, got kids. He's not going to be out partying with you. He's about one thing. He's about his business. And you better be about the same thing when you walk in that locker room. But wow, think about this, all right? CP3's last 2 games, and keep in mind that he's doing it with a partially torn ligaments in the shooting hand. 36 points per game, 8 assists per game, 65% from the field, 73% from the three, and only 2 turnovers. This dude is the man when you talk about what he's doing for this team.
Totally
and he impacts the game more than anybody I've seen all year.
Yeah, and to Nick's point, he only averaged 9 points against the Lakers, and they still won. So you can see that he affects the game in a lot of different ways. And Nick, I don't know if you remember this, and I put the producers in a bad spot because I didn't call for this. But there was a point in the second half where Cam Payne started to get hot. I think he hit back-to-back shots.
Yeah.
And Chris gets the ball out of bounds. And Chris just throws it across court like a little lob. He's like, go ahead, do your thing. He let Cam Payne bring it up, and Cam Payne ended up missing a three. I said, that is a fascinating play. Because he was just like, this is you. You earned this shot. I'm CP3. I might be finals MVP. I'm a legend. Just do your thing. And I think sometimes we talk about, like, his aggressive leadership, his getting it, in your face, his taking you to getting Ayton to the next level. I thought that was a good example of just almost like a passive leadership, a confident leadership of allowing Cam Payne to get confidence, even if he misses the shot. It's proving that he believes in it.
Because he does it
so
at
I know
the
we say a
expense
lot like,
of
oh,
his
it
own
doesn't
stats.
show up on the. Yeah, well, it doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but that literally doesn't show up on the stat sheet. That's just infusing a guy with confidence. So I think the answer has got to be CP3.
And listen, Broussard will be on in an hour, and I'll save the MVP stuff for when he's here with us, because to me, this is another great validation of that you can't just look at the stats. You have to look at the overall impact.
That's good.
But I want to respond to what Wild said, because during the, I think this is the sequence Wilds is talking about. He and I didn't discuss this before the show. Cam Payne scored 5 in a row for Phoenix while Milwaukee was trying to cut it down. Milwaukee ended up cutting it to 8, but it would have been 3 if not for Cam Payne's 2 tough buckets that he made. It was when they were down from 18, and it's like, oh, they've got it to 12, and then they cut it to 10, then Cam Payne hit a bucket. Then Milwaukee comes down, hits a 3 to cut it
to the side.
Right. Exactly right. Cuts it to 9, and then Cam Payne hits a 3 of his own. And it's like, okay, Cam Payne gave him right. He has such a weird hitch in his shot, but he's been playing great. I totally agree that so much of that is Chris Paul. And I know I keep going back to the Isaiah Thomas comp, but it is so valuable in this instance. And I understand he does TV, sometimes with us and elsewhere. But people need to listen to what Isaiah Thomas says about what it is to be a point guard. And even if you're not in sports, it is to Brandon's point about Peyton Manning, but if you could take it to any industry. The best leaders are people that understand what I need to do to get the most out of you. And so whether it's television producer or a boss of your sales team, it's understanding that the same buttons I push for Brandon, I can't push for Wilds, I can't push for Jenna, I can't push for Nick. Understanding what you do best, how I can pull that out of you through either encouragement, feeding you the ball, being hard on you. And Chris Paul is a savant at that. He's one of the best in league history at that. And so that is such an important part of what he does, Brandon.
Yeah, but the hardest part is doing it every single day. That's what happens. When you walk in that locker room, guys are going to be looking at you. Is this the day where he takes his foot off the gas? And CP3 has been doing it for 16 years? Every single game? Like, the dude comes in, is at one level. Really quickly, Jenna, before we go to the next thing, I was thinking about Cam Payne's flicked it form. Wilds keep talking about he plays basketball. Wilds, you know a hooper when you see him. You don't need to have a ball in your hand. Can I see the form real quick before we go? Let me see the form, because you keep talking about this.
It used to be.
Group.
It used to be more beautiful. It's honestly, it's pure Bill Cartwright. It's pure Bill Cartwright. I can bring the ball over here like this, and I shoot. It's a Bill Cartwright, Joakim Noah thing. Works though.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.